One size does not fit all. And that is what I'm going to be exposing on this video through this tier list where I'll be ranking every single way of acquiring customers and seeing what is the best ways and what is the most garbage ways. And the thing is, the gurus that are telling you, my system's the best, my funnel's the best, this system is the only system that works, isn't true. Different things work for different types of info sellers and coaches. So I'll be really digging into the nuances here and showcasing the stuff that frankly doesn't work, that some people push, and the things that truly do work. And there's a lot of things that in here that you might not have thought of. Hopefully I'm covering everything. If I missed anything, any tactic, tool, or system, put a comment below and maybe I'll make another video on this. And by the way, if you agree with it or disagree with it, put in the comments below what you agreed with and what you disagreed with when I'm ranking this. And when it comes to ranking it, we're going from garbage, D tier, all the way up to money maxing, which is S tier. And if you're putting these things, the tactics, tools, and systems into your business, that's in the S tier, you're printing freaking cash. You're making maximum money with it. Okay, let's get started. So let's see here. The first thing, let's do email. Man, I think email is so underrated still. I know a lot of people talk about this and they harp on it like do some freaking emails. That's 100% true. Emails is essentially your community. I've gotten this from Tom Young's, shout out to that. Email is your community. You can consistently message people. You're not relying on an algorithm and you can really develop a good, deep connection. A lot of storytelling can happen in there, a lot of daily updates. And if you're really good at writing email, it's a hack. The only issue is when there's a lot of like big people who outsource their copywriting for email. It's just so obvious and it's just like stupid tips that can ruin it. But if you're really good at email, this can be a cash printer for sure. So I'm putting this in A tier. Another thing though, when it comes to email, understand the economics of email. I would only really start being consistent with your emails if you're at 500 to 1,000 subscribers. Because if you do the math, if you know open rates, click-through rates, it doesn't really matter if you send out emails if you don't have like 500 to 1,000 subscribers on it. So that's an A tier though. Absolutely will print cash for you. Next thing, ClickFunnels as a, just like in general, like using ClickFunnels for a landing page builder. I'm gonna put this as mid tier. Like B tier is, it's good. It's terrible when it comes to trying to build your funnel on mobile. I freaking hate it, but I also love it at the same time. It's just mid. I'm not going to explain anymore on that. Okay, offers. Building offers and being good at building offers. This one is interesting. I almost wish there was between like a tier and B tier on this because I think people obsess so much about their offer and it's so overrated. In my opinion, everybody knows how to build an offer at this point. Just read Alex Hormozi's book. Everybody's running this playbook. Everybody's doing guarantees and they're not focusing on like the thing that sells the offer. It's just slapping together an offer and a pathway for somebody to see a transformation, and putting a guarantee and bonuses and all the other tactics you put into an offer. That isn't enough to sell it. I have a whole nother video on this, so I'm going to honestly put it at B tier. That might be controversial. I do wish there was an in-between A tier and B tier. Next one here, let's do lead magnets. Lead magnets is another thing, like it's just getting like so overdone, but it's still good for collecting leads, obviously. Like people don't really go through them. I like using YouTube videos as lead magnets. Those are the best lead magnets in my opinion. If you're really good at writing copy, you can do other sorts of lead magnets like an ebook or something. I'm going to put it at A tier though, because it's really important to collect leads, get them on your email list, obviously. And lead magnets is a good way to do that. All right. DM Messenger funnel or DM Messenger ads. Man, I'm going to put this one at bad, honestly. Like this was such a hype for so long. People were, running this as their offer, like, oh, I'll teach you how to do DM Messenger ads. And it's so overdone. You get a lot of unqualified leads for it, especially if you're If you're running a little bit more of a sophisticated offer or like a B2B offer, it just does not work. You're going to get terrible leads through it. And the reason why like I also don't like it is because you can't control the quality. There's no like pixel really attached to it. Facebook is always going to optimize for the lowest cost per lead. And yeah, just it's going to start running in a direction where there's no quality because you can't protect your pixel, I like to call it. So put in a B tier. Honestly though, if you do have a audience of like 5,000 plus that's like dialed in, everybody who's following you is pretty much ideal. Running this is actually not a terrible idea. It's just like you have to have a dialed in audience and they have to be B2C. So I'm going to just put in bad. I just personally don't think it works as well as some other things that are on this list here. All right. Value content. I'm going to put this as mid. I think value content's overrated. The value of value has gone down. I feel like we're in a value recession. Anybody can make a value piece. Unless you have like 30 years of industry knowledge that's just like nobody knows about, then value content makes sense. And I think you should still incorporate value content into your content strategy. It's still important, but ultimately it's not the thing that's going to get somebody sold. Anybody can do 3 tips or my top 3 bicep exercises. Anybody can do that. So it's not going to get somebody sold. It's not building authority too much. So I'm going to put it at mid, but it's still important to put in your content strategy. All right. Unique mechanisms. I'm going to make this one money maxing. So if you don't know what a unique mechanism is essentially your specific way of achieving the transformation that you're promising to your audience. And making a unique mechanism makes you stand out. Instead of stealing somebody else's, you look different in the market and people want to use something different, do something different from what they've been trying. So unique mechanisms is a great way to stand out, especially if your market is a little bit more skeptical and sophisticated. They know all the marketing tactics. They've been through programs before. If you're trying to sell more like a B2B offer or money-making offer, unique mechanisms can be really, really good. And it doesn't have to be anything complicated. Like some people just come up with crazy names. It has to be backed on something real, like real principles or real actual pathway to see a transformation. The naming can be simple. I know people are running unique mechanisms like, hey, just have ads and good messaging, kind of what I'm doing. And that's it. So unique mechanisms, if you want to know how to like develop more of this, I'll link in a video in the description on how to make unique mechanisms. But yeah, money maxing for sure if you're putting this inside of what you're doing here. Okay, low ticket funnel. I'm going to put this as a cash printer. I almost want to put it as a S tier. I think this is crazily underrated at the moment. The market is starting to warm up to low ticket funnels. Like people are starting to implement it. Alex Hormozi kind of set the way for it. Like, yeah, he did a webinar, but ultimately it was a low ticket funnel. He got people to buy the book first, which paid for his ads, paid for all the marketing that he was doing, and got people already invested into him. So the upsell doesn't become as hard. And especially with the way ads are going, ads are only going to be rising in cost. So being able to liquidate that cost by a $27 product and break even on your ads or even a little bit under even, and just upsell people in the high ticket is really good. And then also you get buyers. Buyers enter your ecosystem. You know, when somebody purchases for a product here, they are already invested into learning your methods, which is great. And you can build a lot of authority and trust through that. So definitely a cash printer. I have another video on this, link in the description for that. Go ahead and check it out after this video. Alrighty. IG stories, man. I'm going to put that at money maxing. I think everybody kind of knows about this. I could be wrong. But IG stories is just a great way to actually sell what you're doing. I call it the gateway to talking about your offer and your product. So gotta rip stories, and people who are watching stories, that's like your core audience. They're only the people that are only like viewing that stuff are people who probably want to buy from you. So if you know how to run these right, you can pull a lot of cash out of it. You can get a lot of people DMing you from it. You can build a lot of authority, a lot of trust, a lot of belief in you, which is important. Okay, let's do sales calls here. Man, this is money maxing too. I think most people aren't really that good at sales. Most of the coaches that I help, like we just fix their sales issues, meaning skill. That's what I'm talking about, like your actual skill to be able to close somebody on a call. And that solves a lot of problems for them. They think they have unqualified leads. They think they have people that are showing up that don't have money. Nobody has money. Everybody's unqualified right now. But if you know how to sell somebody on a call, holy crap, that also just trickles down into a lot of your content. Because when you know how to speak one-on-one to somebody and sell a high ticket program, you know how to put that language into your content. And then it feels like you're speaking to somebody one-on-one through your content. And that's what's needed in order to sell a high ticket product. So this is super, I don't think it's underrated. People know about it. Like you need to focus on this, but getting insanely good, not just for like collecting cash, but you can sell people on ideas, helps you become a leader. It's almost a spiritual thing that you go through when you learn how to do sales. So money maxing, absolutely 100% on that. All right. Let's see here. Funnel hacking. This is interesting, man. I'm going to put this as mid. I know I'm kind of going against Russell Brunson here, if you know what it is. If you don't know what funnel hacking is, it's just looking at other people's funnel, seeing how they have it set up, seeing what they're doing, looking at the copy, what's written on the funnel in the VSL, all that stuff, and building yours just like that, but tweaking some things. I think this is really good to get you to a certain point so you're not, throwing shit at a wall when it comes to initially setting up your ads, your funnel, your landing page copy. But ultimately, at the end of the day, like if you're just copying, you're not standing out. And if people get into this trap so much, they funnel hack, gets it to a certain point, it skips the you having to guess a whole lot. But after that, they don't continue to develop the funnel. They just keep on funnel hacking. They keep on going this loop of, oh, what is my competitor doing? Oh, he switched up his messaging. Let me switch mine to exactly what he did. And you never become unique. So I'm just going to put this as a B tier. It is mid. Definitely use it to initially set up your funnels and messaging, but don't rely on it too much. Alrighty, let's go with the school funnel. This is almost getting to like bad just because it's like so used, but there's people who are still crushing with it. I'm going to put it mid. You know what? I might put this as Cash Printer. It's an advanced lead magnet. That's what it is. People can message you on it. You can message other people on it. They can see YouTube videos on it, essentially VSLs on it. It's a cash printer. It works. Maybe the market's getting a little too warmed up to it. But overall, like if you run people to a school community, it's good for collecting leads and then emailing them. Just a massive lead magnet. All right, let's go to Go High Level. I'm going to put Go High Level at, when I'm speaking about Go High Level too, I'm more so talking about like the CRM system. I guess funnel building is a part of that. I'm going to put it at mid. I think they just don't know when to implement it. A CRM to make sure you're tracking all your leads and stuff. A lot of people like put it in when they're at like 10K a month, and you don't really need that. There's more important things to focus on. Yes, you need to be organized with your leads, but until you're at like 50K, putting in a CRM makes sense to me. Maybe if you're really like an organized person, you're on top of your stuff, you can put in, but I'm going to just put it at mid tier because most people implement it at the wrong time. All right, being controversial. This is a cash printer for sure. Most really big people on social media who are printing like 10 mil a year off of info, they're obviously controversial in some way. They're standing out. When you're controversial, you just cause people to pick sides. Just think of politics. The more one side calls out the other side, the stronger the bond in that side becomes. You stand out. You're going against the grain, and it's needed. Like if I was a fitness coach and I was just trying to sell like the nutrition plan of what the government recommends, nobody's going to buy my thing because everybody knows what it is. They might have even tried it before. I don't know. Yeah, it's just, you need to stand out. Being controversial is absolutely a hack. And I think most people play it way too safe on social media. Like you're not Andrew Tate out here. You're not Nick Fluentes out here. You're not going to be saying crazy stuff like him. But you need to start to get close to that. And obviously people like Andy Elliott, they just scale massively and you're always going to get hate. That's the other thing too. People aren't hating on you by noon. You're not marketing. All right, let's do video sales letter. Implementing this, just even knowing the skill, is money maxing. Your video sales letter is the ultimate conversion piece, and being able to dial that in, developing that skill of knowing how to speak the right words in the right way that causes somebody to convert and want to buy a high ticket program, 5,000 to 30,000 plus online without ever meeting you in person. That's one of the best skills you can have. It's the most leveraged thing that you can do is create a conversion piece like that. Think about like you can get good at sales. Like let's say you have a 30% close rate. Yeah, you can spend 6 months trying to move that up to 35, 45%, but you can just spend all that time just putting in together one good video that you can run a ton of traffic to. And that ends up selling them more than you could on a sales call. So this is absolutely S tier, money maxing. If you have a good VSL and a good sales skills, like, geez, you're going to be printing cash. Okay, let's do DM selling. There's a lot of like hype around this right now, like sending your offer doc in the DMs. I think this is bad advice for most coaches. Like selling a fitness offer in the DMs, I'm sure you could do it. And there are people that are doing it. But man, you have to build up so much of your brand. You have to be dialed in on your messaging that it doesn't make sense. And the people that are selling this, the only reason, or the people that are teaching this, the only reason why they're teaching it is because it's new and unique for them. And it only really works for them. It's one of those things where like a lot of these coaches that coach coaches, they only really know how to coach themselves. They don't know how to coach like a fitness coach or a addiction coach or a relationship coach. This type of stuff, in my opinion, isn't the most efficient way. I mean, it's efficient for obviously getting sales, but isn't it the best way to really scale up your company? There is a point where you could implement this, but you have to be building your brand and be dialed in on your messaging. And of course, you're going to get less sales if you're just sending people offer docs. You have to be a big leader in the space, essentially. I think it's so overrated. So I'm going to put it in bad. And plus, if you don't develop that sales skills and all the marketing skills, it's not going to work. Let's go with, what should we do here? Let's go organic YouTube. I think this is still underrated. Like obviously people are talking about this a lot now, but people are not focusing on YouTube as much as they should. When people spend time with you, they're going to start believing in you more. If you know how to go about this correctly, organic YouTube can be killer. And plus, you don't need a lot of views. You don't need a big following. The algorithm knows who to push your video out to. Just not much more to say about that. It's just S tier. Implement YouTube sooner rather than later. All right, let's do a wait list launch kind of funnel here where you get together a wait list because you're going to be launching a new offer. I'm going to put this as mid. Obviously, it works really well when you're releasing a new offer, but you can rarely do this. But it works really well when you're either change your offer or you're somebody new who's launching an offer and you already have like a big audience. It can work really well because you can build a ton of hype, a ton of scarcity on it as well. And usually these go pretty decently if you know how to set them up right. Alrighty. Solo consultant. Man, this might piss some people off. I think it's bad. I think most people lie about their solo consultancy. Dan Coe, obviously, like that's the thing. Like he's somebody who's selling how to do it. And all props to Dan Koe. He's a brilliant guy. Really good content as well. But it only like works for people who are like selling that. And honestly, at the end of the day, they're really not solo. They do have a team behind them of freelancers. And it's just kind of a hype thing. Like if you really want to scale a business and help people out, you need to build like good systems that can get people results. And I think solo consultant is cool if you want to scale to 20, 30, maybe 50K. But we're humans. We're going to either want our time back or we're going to want to take it to the next level. And you need, in my opinion, some help to do that. So I'm going to put it as bad. It doesn't work out for most people unless you want to stick from 20 to 30K. Actually, I'm going to move that up to mid. All right. Let's see here. Flywheel. So this is just another form of a funnel. I think it's good. You can definitely print cash. Like you're just being omnipresent. You're doing email, you're doing YouTube, you're doing Instagram, you're running ads. It's being omnipresent. Of course, the YouTube aspect in there really is the part that ends up selling people. But there's, at the end of the day, it's a funnel. Just doing YouTube videos, just doing, like, even if you have YouTube videos, Instagram Reels, ads, all of that running, doesn't mean you're going to get sales. It's what you do within the YouTube videos, the ads, the funnel. What do you say that actually gets you sales? So I'm going to put it as cash printer because it's good to be omnipresent and you have the YouTube and email portion in there. But it's missing a huge element that most people don't talk about, which is the messaging side. All right. Let's go with vibe scaling. Vibe scaling, oh man, I'm just going to put this as garbage. I think this is so, I don't even know what the word is for it. Like it's just so overhyped. The people that are vibe scaling, I can tell you right now, probably 99% of them hasn't worked 4-hour days to scale their business. And I've been in some of their courses and programs and everything, and they all of them go, yeah, in order to like get to the point that I got to, I had to put in like 12-hour days, 16-hour days. So it's just kind of like this mark. I want to call it a scam. Like you can definitely get to a point where you're working 4 hours a day, but to scale your business, no, it's going to take a little bit of grinding, to be honest. And just think about it as well. Like you're going to scale off of vibes. You're going to run a business off of how you feel. That doesn't make any sense. The people that can do vibe scaling, they've built, a business to 10 million in the info space and then sold it. And they have a ton of credibility, a ton of authority, and they're using that as a mechanism to scale. Just doesn't make any sense if you're a coach, like a fitness coach that's trying to scale to 100K a month. You're not going to scale off vibes. Let's just put it that way. All right. Let's do a challenge funnel. This is interesting. I haven't had much experience with it, so I'm just going to put it as mid. I think it could be money maxing. Like I said, I haven't had much experience with it. I know people print with it as well, but here's the thing, like all funnels, they're different. Like a DM Messenger funnel works great for B2C if you have a decent sized following, but so I don't know too much about the challenge funnel, but I've heard good things about it. But I'm going to put it as mid-tier. The only thing that I don't like about it is you have to keep on putting your time towards it, right? You're running a challenge. It's also like 3 or 5 days, I believe, and there's going to be a lot of drop-off with that. So you really have to have people sold in. You really have to have good messaging around it, dialed in on the ads and everything. So I'm going to put it as mid. All right. Mindset. Holy moly. I know like people kind of hate it when gurus preach mindset, but it's huge when it comes to building a business. The beliefs that you have, the limiting beliefs that are blocking you, like discovering all of that stuff. Honestly, like it unlocks like a whole new thing when you have the right mindset. And yeah, like somebody's program shouldn't be all about mindset. I think that's dumb. But getting your mind right when it comes to scaling, knowing your limiting beliefs, having the right beliefs, having a good decision making, which comes from your mindset, is extremely crucial when it comes to running a business. Okay. A lot of the people, they know what to do, but they still don't do it. And that's a mind issue. So if you're trying to scale and you're like, why am I not scaling? I've been doing everything right. You're not doing everything right. Start watching some mindset stuff and maybe it'll help you. All right, next one. Let's do highly edited content. I'm going to put that as bad. I think we're just in a time where people are looking for ultimate authenticity. It's going to go back to highly edited if you understand the market cycles, but everybody's looking for authenticity at the moment. And just putting the edits in it just kind of feels fake. So I'm going to put that as bad. Not much more to say about that. Resource page. Holy. I'm just going to put it as like cash printer. I don't think it's money maxing, but another thing that is super beneficial. Not that many people talk about this. I actually got it from Jeremy Haynes. But like if you give somebody a resource page before they get to the call, then it's like another like VSL or lead magnet where people can see everything about your way of doing things, addressing the skepticism. Super, super good to send to somebody before the call. And if you position this right, people are going to go through it. They're going to be sold off of it. And they're also going to self-qualify themselves, which is really cool. So resource page, definitely a cash printer. I almost want to put that in money maxing. But yeah, with that, I'm going to do Calendly automations, like post-booking automations. I'm going to put this as bad. I wish there was an in-between here. Obviously, you need these, but too many people think that this is what sells people. Oh, I'm going to do some post-booking automations. I can send them testimonials. I can send them my VSL. It's going to get my show-up rate much higher. But in reality, it's not what sells somebody. And honestly, I feel like it doesn't even like get somebody on a call. Yes, it reminds them, which is important. But at the end of the day, they're going to show up to the call or not show up to the call. Yes, this might get you a 10% more bookings, which is important. But I think it's just overhyped in my opinion. All right, organic IG. I'm going to do that as cash printer. I mean, if you can just be good at organic and not have to rely off of ads, that's really good. Once again, I think organic is kind of on the decline. You have to be really good at pattern interruptions, standing out, being a leader, which is everything I talk about inside my incubator. But it can be hard to crack now because so many people are doing it. And I think you need that flywheel, which is important to be omnipresent. So organic obviously can print cash for you. It's 100% needed. It's just getting a little bit harder and it's not always consistent. But obviously, like I said, absolute need in order to pull some money into your coaching business. Alrighty, profile ads. I'm going to do this as bad. It's kind of like the DM Messenger. It works really well for some people, probably more so B2C, but it's overdone. And a lot of people don't do this right. They just say, hey, give me a follow and go through all my content. Nobody wants to do that. You need to give them a reason to actually follow other than going through all your content. So I think most people mess this up. It's overdone. So I'm going to put it in bad. Yapping. Man, if you could be a good yapper, you're money maxing. I'm going to put it in A tier because being a yapper is a little bit tough. The cool thing is like if you nail it down, you can print some serious cash with you because yapping is the ultimate way of getting people interested in you, which is essential to sell a high ticket program. Like there's two aspects. You need to get somebody interested in your offer and you need to get somebody interested in wanting to get coached by you. So if you can yap, it's very authentic. It's a great way of getting people invested into watching you and things that you want to say. The only problem with it, there's some people it just doesn't work for. Like you just don't have the gift of gab. So I'm going to put it as cash printer. You obviously could develop that skill, but yeah, cash printer if you can do it. Belief shifting, man. Money maxing for sure. If you can shift beliefs through your content, you can get somebody to do anything, right? If you can shift a belief, a limiting belief, an objection, you can then get somebody to take action. It's a different type of content that not too many people necessarily talk about. And beliefs dictate actions. Most people are trying to sell their offer, and you're not selling your offer. You have to sell the belief in your offer first. So that's where belief shifting content comes in. Absolutely S tier. You got to put that into your content strategy. Data tracking, S tier. Too many entrepreneurs are relying off of how they feel and not what the data says. I can't tell you how many times people in my community go, man, my close rate, I just can't close. I suck at sales. And then I'm like, well, let me see the data. And they're closing out at 30%. It's like, no, you're actually chilling with sales. So a lot of people in this space begin to operate off of how they feel. I feel like I should implement this. I feel like I should hop to another funnel. I feel like I should try a different strategy. Go to the numbers first. That's what the best entrepreneurs do. They separate their feelings from what actually works. Just like a good trader, a good investor, crypto investor, it's separating your emotions from your actions. A lot of people when it comes to trading, the reason why they fail is because they get very emotional about the things they're buying or when they opt into something. Like, just as an entrepreneur, tracking is elite. Get good at it. It's almost a skill that you have to develop. Cold outbound, garbage, obviously. Going cold outbound sucks. I mean, if you're trying to sell you and yourself, you and your method, then it's just hard to develop that trust, that authority and everything through cold outbound. And it's just a waste of time when you can build a system that becomes evergreen where people eventually start to reach out to you. All right. Upsells. Cash printer. Most coaches don't have upsells in their program. And just selling somebody who's already been in your program, this is a great way. Like, they're going to want it because it's going to help them get more of the result that you're providing. And it's just super easy. Like, it's an easy thing to do because that trust that has been established so much that asking for an upsell isn't that hard. Most coaches don't know how to do this, when to do this, but if you know how to, absolute cash printer. Webinar. I'm going to put this one at mid here. I think webinars are good, better for a B2C audience. If you're going B2B, if it's a truly a new opportunity for B2B, then it makes sense. But if it's a improvement offer, then the webinar becomes hard. People are very warmed up to it. Still works really well if you want to put that time and energy into it. That's the only thing. You have to put a lot of time and energy into it to show up on webinars. You have to be on your A game 100% of the time when you're on the webinar. So I'm going to put it as mid. I think there's just better things that you can do. Flexing, garbage. This era of flexing is 100% over, in my opinion. It's just, people know the game. It's going to get you bad leads. Do not flex. I don't think there's much more to say on that. Flexing, it's just not a good way to market. Ads. Just obviously going to put that. I'm going to put that in cash printer, actually. A tier. Ads can be really good for consistency. Can be really good for scaling you up. However, most people underestimate the amount of time and energy and effort and the skill and here's the thing, the removing your emotions from ads to get this to work. And most people are selling you on how to do ads. Don't talk about that. But if you crack the code on ads, it can be an absolute cash printer for you. I would almost even put it at money maxing. But there's, things around it as far as figuring it out and getting good with it that would prevent me from putting it in an S tier. Vlogging. I think this is garbage. Maybe I'll put it as bad. Who knows? I might do a vlog. But it's really it goes back to that lifestyle stuff, the flexing and everything. It's a hype thing. It's a way to make yourself a more attractive, but your attractive character can only last for so long. I do think vlogging is kind of important. It's cool for the people who want to know a little bit more about you and what's going on in your daily life. But at the end of the day, you're running a business. And putting a lot of vlogs into your content strategy isn't necessarily selling people on you, but you don't need it for everything that you do. SEO, that's garbage. I don't even know why I put that there. Reaction videos. I'm going to put it as bad. It's kind of overhyped now. People ran its course. can be good. You might be able to get some views off of it, more than your average amount of views, but you're also pointing direction towards somebody else, which is not gaining you any authority. I get like putting your own opinions on top of it might get you some authority. You're also, view hijacking here. So I'm going to put it as bad. YouTube funnel. It's kind of like YouTube organic. I'm just going to put that money max. But let's say you're running ads on YouTube. I guess this is what it's for. Running ads on YouTube, I think, is underrated. I'm going to put it as cash printer. I don't know if like too many people are implementing YouTube funnels as much as they should. I haven't personally explored it a whole ton in running ads on YouTube, but I have a feeling that it's kind of lucrative. Could be a cash printer if I put more time there. Carousels. Let's do mid-tier. Carousels are great for re-engaging your audience. I think if you do a video carousel, that would actually be a cash printer for me. Video carousels gets a lot of views and brings people into top of funnel content. Picture carousels, they're pretty good to re-engage your audience. Nothing more to say about that. Just a good thing to add to your content strategy. Warm inbound. I think this was supposed to be warm outbound. So warm outbound, I'm going to put it as a cash printer. At the end of the day, the difference between like cold outbound and warm outbound is that warm outbound, you're initiating the message, but they've already interacted with you and your brand in some sort of capacity. So they liked a video, they followed you, they commented on a video, that type of stuff, but you're initiating the conversation. That's warm outbound. Cold outbound is when the person's completely cold. They've never talked to you before. So warm outbound is good because there's a little bit of that connection established. And then at the end of the day, if you want to get sales, you need to have conversations. So the more conversations that you have, the more of a chance that you're going to get a book call and get a sale. So I'm going to put that as a cash printer, focusing on warm inbound, talking to people. Bro scaling. I'm going to put this a little bit above vibe scaling because I think sweating hard, grinding, putting together a team, scaling things out is a good thing. Right? Like you're building a true business with a team around you and you're pushing. The only thing is if you go too hard and start scaling too fast, that's a problem that people don't talk about, which is scaling too fast. Then you get a bunch of unhappy clients. So I'm going to put it as bad. In between that, what I put at like cash printer would be my elite scaler, what decisions to make in your business at what phase in your business. Who to hire at the right time. You're not pushing too hard. You're not vibe scaling. You're just in the middle and making appropriate decisions at the right time. Call funnel, S tier. So many people are like kind of over book call funnels or VSL funnels. I still think there's an S tier. It's evergreen. Like I can do a VSL funnel on Instagram through Facebook, but I can bring it over to YouTube if I get that VSL funnel to work. Like it's just messaging. You nail down messaging within that funnel, you can get book calls. It can print cash for you. And then you don't have to put too much time into it after that. It's not like a webinar where you're consistently putting in time. So call funnel is an absolute killer. Knowing how to set this up could be super evergreen for you once you nail it down. Underrated, in my opinion.